What is up, folks? My name is Kendra from Kendra VanDruff Watercolors. Today, I cannot wait to teach you how to paint a watercolor desert sunset, specifically Saguaro National Park in Arizona. I love the vibrant colors in this sunset from yellow to deep purples, and I'm going to teach you how to paint a sunset using wet and wet technique with watercolor and how to paint these silhouettes of Saguaro cacti, which they're so cute. I just love them. All right, without further ado, let's get painting. Alrighty, folks, let's get started on our Saguaro cacti landscape here. We're going to do a sunset with some Saguaro cacti, and I'm so excited. To start out, I really like to use a sponge brush to help create some really nice bleeds using wet and wet technique with our watercolor paint, and just to help that process of the colors blending and bleeding into each other, I'm going to use a sponge brush just to apply water all across the page. And don't be shy, this watercolor paper is quite absorbent. I'm using Canson watercolor paper 140 pound, LB or ELB, but 140 pound is what we're working with over here. So I'm just making sure this is nice and wet and saturated, and you can always add more water as you go. But now we got a good foundation, and I like to start with my lighter colors first, and I'm going to go ahead and start with some yellow towards the bottom. And with this painting, there's quite a bit of layering action going on, so you'll see that as we go. But the first layer of our sunset colors are yellow, and this is Cadium Yellow from Winsor that I'm using. It's nice and vivid, super pretty, and I'm doing about the first third of the page in some yellow. And that concludes our sunset. Thank you for joining. I'm just kidding. We're now gonna use some orange here. I'm gonna scoot my palette over a bit so you can see that more. And I'm just gonna start to about halfway into this yellow area. I'm just gonna add some streaks. Oh yeah, I love seeing the color bleed and blend like that. That is like the most satisfying thing. But anywho, I'm gonna add some streaks of this beautiful orange. And here's one massive streak. I'm going to go ahead and add one on the left side as well. And don't be shy to go bold with your orange. The sunset's going to be quite vivid. Desert sunsets are just some of my favorite things ever. So pretty. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with a mountain, desert, or ocean sunset. Sunsets all around are awesome. Alright, so I added some of this orange. I'm gonna just add just a little bit of yellow in between here. And then I'm just gonna layer again some more orange. Alrighty. So now I'm gonna kind of re-wet my paper just a bit, not a lot, but just in this upper area. I'm gonna go ahead and disperse the water actually, so not just in this upper area, but rather the entire page. Same but different. Okay, alrighty, there we go. So, looks like I missed a spot right here. There we go. Definitely want to add water in the transition areas. That's definitely the most important part. So now I want to start utilizing some kind of like terracotta tones in here. So I have this like burnt orange here. This color here is what most influencer moms wear nowadays. You know, the terracotta tones, all about those earth tones. Anywho, as I say that, in my previous video, I just remembered I too wore a terracotta shirt, so I guess I'm laughing at myself as well. So we're gonna add some streaks of this really pretty terracotta burnt orange. It's such a beautiful color, very earthy. So just making sure that I incorporate a good saturation of this color. Don't be afraid to go bold with it. Some sunsets kind of blend and are really soft, and some are more bold. We are going bold. Go big or go bold is how the saying goes, I think. Alrighty. Okay, so there's our lovely terracotta color. I'm now gonna go ahead and use more of a red, earthy red. Also, if you don't have or earthy orange, that's a little bit too orangey for me, so I'm gonna go straight to red. Anywho, but I wanted to say, if you wanted to have a terracotta color but you don't have that just already made, all you would do is take some red and add some brown to it, and that'll kind of tone it down. So I'm adding some pops of red in here. Such a beautiful red. And again, I'm kind of layering, slightly touching the terracotta area as well. Maybe going in and adding just a little bit of red directly on top. Okay. Beautiful. So now what I want to do is go ahead and add some pink. So I'm using some permanent rose, and I'm going to add just some areas of this beautiful pink shade. I love how many colors can be happening in a sunset. So this is just so pretty. I'm going to add just a little bit of pink down in this kind of lighter area just to make it pop. And again, I'm kind of just working in streaks here, you know, not exact, very loose. Don't overthink it. Okay, so I added just a nice beautiful layer of pink. Okay. Now I'm going to use a nice deep red. So this red here I would do just above the pink. And this could be red with just a tinge of purple if you don't already have that kind of color. And then for this last white area here, I'm going to add just some straight up purple, y'all. Straight up. Okay, so just finish that off with some purple. I want to layer some more because I really do want some nice deep color contrast to go on. So this part is like one of my favorite parts to add because I just love these purple tones in here. As they bleed into the other colors, they do soften a little bit more. Burnt sienna is another really great color that you can use in this palette, which has nothing to do with purple, but anywho, really nice, beautiful kind of brick red earth tones, mix of purple, and then yellow and orange to start off with at the bottom. That's kind of what we're going for. again, I'm just continuing to layer by adding some darker colors. You're also adding some nice pretty contrast to the painting, and it's really gonna make your eye look throughout the artwork and not just in one area. Beautiful. Okay, so I do want to add maybe just some more pink. Let's continue to layer. So in this wet area, I'm just going to add a streak of pink. Maybe just some in this wet terracotta area from before. Beautiful, I love it. Okay, so there's a certain point with wet and wet painting, especially for a sunset or a galaxy painting, where you apply the color and you just gotta let it rest. You can't overwork it, just surrender it. We're at that point of surrender. We're gonna let this dry, and when we come back, after a few moments of letting it dry, we will start to add some Saguaro cacti. Okay, so our sunset here has totally dried, and now we get to add some Saguaro cacti silhouettes. So I want to make some nice black brown for our silhouettes. So I'm going to start with some black, and then I'm going to mix in with that some burnt umber, just to tone it down just a little bit, making it kind of an earthier, warmer black than just a cool black. There we go. So what I want to do to start out is kind of paint an irregular line to indicate almost like just an uneven desert floor. Like there's some rocks or just an uneven surface here. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is fill in the silhouette with this color. We need to add just a touch more black to cover that yellow. It's like a nice earthy black. And I'm using my size 6 Princeton round brush here. Okay, so now that I've filled in this silhouette nicely, I'm going to switch gears from my size 6 Princeton brush to my size 4 because I would like to have the Saguaro cacti a little bit more delicate and less thick than what the size 6 brush would give. So I'm going to set aside my size 6 brush, and now I'm going to make some more of this black brown color. And we're going to start to paint some Saguaros. So here we go. So I'm going to start from the left to the right. So what I like to do is paint a straight line, and then I'm just going to do another line like half a centimeter or so next to it, and I'm just going to round off the top. That's the base of our cacti. Go ahead and fill that in. Okay. Next up, I'm going to give our cacti some arms. So I'm going to start on the right side here, and I'm just going to do a curved line, like so. Almost like a C curve. Then I'm going to start by adding a parallel line with it here, and it's slightly thinner than the base trunk of the cacti was, so the arms are slightly thinner. And then I'm going to go ahead and add another one on the left side. and it's slightly more higher up because I just want some variety. Okay, let's do some more. May have some overlap a little bit, so I'm going to do another one here, and I'm just going to let it touch this arm here just to overlap a bit, starting with the base of the trunk. I'm going to do one arm here. It's going to actually go slightly above the top of the height of this trunk here. Really following that kind of C curve, like an elongated C curve. Do another arm on the right. Fill that in. And it's okay to have the arm here on the right run off the page. I'm going to go ahead and give it a second arm, and it might overlap just a little bit on the first arm. And then because this little bit, this arm here ran off this page, I kind of want to show an indicator of a couple arms on the left page that are kind of coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and paint maybe an arm pop in on the left hand side here. And then maybe a taller one as well. And one final element that I want to do with the painting is kind of do the silhouette of some dried kind of bushes on the desert floor. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use the tip of my brush just to do some wispy brush work here, just using the tip and pulling up. So they're kind of spiky. So there's one. Maybe do a smaller one over here. Let's do maybe one up against cacti here. Maybe a tiny guy right next to it. And maybe just one off over here towards the edge. Alrighty, so that is the final step of the painting, and I'm just going to allow this to dry, and once it's dry I will peel off the tape. Alright, now for one of my favorite parts of this whole painting process, peeling off the tape. It's so satisfying. Okay, so to start, I'm just going to be super careful here and just go nice and steady. Right when I say that, it gets unclean. That's funny. So I like to paint on a 9x12 standard frame size, so you can frame that size just as is, but I do tape it down so that way if I do want to cut the white edges off, it will be 8x10. So I go about an inch on the top and bottom, and then about a ½ inch on the left and right side, and then once you cut that, it'll be a standard frame size of 8x10. So either or, you won't have to buy like a custom frame or anything like that. I can already tell with this one I may want to definitely cut off the white edges actually, just because of some unevenness, but not a big deal. Either or is totally great. Perfect. Lovely. So what I'm going to want to do is go ahead and cut these edges off so you can see the final thing. But I love how this painting turned out. It's just so pretty and vibrant. Okay folks, this is the final painting. I cut off the edges and I just love how it turned out. It is so vibrant with the colors between the yellow, orange, the pops of pink here, the purple, the terracotta, and the red. That was a mouthful, but I love the combination of all of these colors. They're so vibrant and happy looking. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of Saguaro National Park. Definitely make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future watercolor tutorials, and happy painting!